Hi, Jeremy here, Modern Vitality. In today's video, we're talking about the shotgun approach. What is the shotgun approach? Well, when you're trying to heal your body from a complex chronic health condition like Lyme, fibro, mold exposure, those kinds of things, right? Chronic fatigue syndrome, you're taking all these different supplements and therapies and all these exercises and whatever seems like a good idea, and you're just doing it all. Right? Doing it all. Throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. That's the shotgun approach. If you're doing this, don't feel bad. I'm not here to criticize you, right? I'm going to help you through it so that you can start to clean up and refine your approach and your strategy. And there's different reasons why this is really, really important. Some of it has to do with overwhelm. Some of it has to do with confusion, right? Because you don't want to be getting better and not knowing what's doing it, right? And if you're not getting better, then you want to know what are your variables and how do you change that? So let's get started. Oftentimes we start with a silver bullet where we're trying to just take one little reduced compound or chemical or supplement or whatever it is. And we think we've got this little tiny thing that we can add into our system and that'll change everything, right? We're looking for the key that unlocks our health. Yeah. And then when that fails, a lot of times what practitioners do and patients both, and this is normal. Okay. I've fallen into this kind of thinking as well. And I'm here to help everybody evolve out of it because I found as soon as I got my head out of that, I could see a lot better in terms of long-term healing strategies. But the next thing people tend to do is they'll add another silver bullet, add another silver bullet, add another one. And before you know it, you got a shotgun approach, right? Why they call it the shotgun approach? Because a shotgun, right, when you shoot it, it's got like buckshot or birdshot. It's all these little tiny balls. And when you shoot, it spreads out like that. And it's just meant to get a wide area. Not extremely accurate, right? But it's like you're just trying to cover all your bases. So if you are approaching your healing and you've got a drawer full of supplements and things like that, and you stand over that drawer for 20 minutes at a time, looking at it and thinking, oh, what should I take today? Wait, what's this one for? I don't know, right? You're wasting 20 minutes of your life at a time, but you're also likely that's a symptom of shotgun approach type thinking, which means we just kind of throw everything that sounds good at the problem and then we just hope for the best. So I've heard this saying that hope isn't a strategy. Right? Hope's a mindset. You can be hopeful. You can have a good hopeful attitude. I love that. But at the same time, we don't want to just rely on hope. We want to actually understand what's going on with our bodies and be able to structure a plan so you can heal, so you can get to the other side of it. Because it's not just about getting your symptoms down, right? Of course, the people I work with, they're not just here for fatigue and exhaustion, right? Or brain fog or these weird pains or just feeling inflamed or having fluid metabolism problems or things like that, right? It's not just that. Those things can be bothersome, of course. Most people I work with are actually quite tough. And when they get symptoms, even if they're debilitating, they'll still kind of push through and try to live their life as best they can. But eventually they hit a wall and they realize that their world has to shrink a little bit. And then we stop saying yes to things. We stop being spontaneous. We stop kind of having fun and showing up for life, right? We stop doing things we love doing. We have to give up activities. And our relationships suffer, and there's a lot of kind of pain involved in that, like psychological pain and emotional pain. And that's where it starts to get real. So it's not just about getting your symptoms down, but getting your life back. And if you want to do that, you don't want to be relying on just throwing everything at the wall with a shotgun approach, right? Everything that sounds good for fibromyalgia or everything that sounds good for mold illness and just taking it all. You want to have a plan, right? Because the other thing is we get overwhelmed. So if you're looking at a pile of stuff, and you're standing there going, oh, which one or what thing or how many of these, you're overwhelmed, right? It's hard to move forward when you're overwhelmed. It's a type of paralysis. Our minds can only handle so much information at once. And this is another paradox I've discovered in my work here because it's been years and years I've been doing this. And one of the things that I realized is that most people think they need more information, right? That's an early stage of problem solving. I've got these health issues. I need more information. Yes, that's true. You do, up to a point. Because nowadays, when you go to type into a search engine or a chat forum or whatever, you can find tons of information, right? But how do you know what's useful? How do you know what applies to you? So I would actually offer that most people don't need more information at all because that's where we wind up being overwhelmed. What they really need is the right information organized in a way that's easy to understand and implement, right? That's more custom for them and their bespoke situation, not just generalized advice from strangers on the internet, right? There's a big difference. We're drowning in information right now. If you can go to the next level where you can take that kind of information and structure it and get rid of the overwhelm, now you're getting out of that shotgun approach, right? The shotgun approach has problems because best case it works, right? Hey, I am feeling better. But then what are you doing? Because you don't know out of the 30 different things you're taking, you don't know which one or combination or whatever is actually causing the changes. And you don't know, if you haven't structured this right, then you don't know if something you're taking is actually working against something else, or if you could take that out and add in something different that it would work better, right? You got to have all this logic and be able to look at it in terms of basically systems thinking, whole systems thinking. You got to use the scientific method, right? You've got to use iteration and feedback. And what that means is when you try something, right, you isolate your variables. So you do one change at a time. And then you can assess that change and you can say, okay, based on this, I think this is the right direction or the wrong direction. And then based on that, you should know what to do next. That's my job, right? That's what I do. I organize all this stuff, put it in a framework so that we can then navigate it. And it starts to get really wild because it's almost like playing a game, like a board game or something, like Chutes and Ladders. You know, you remember that one? I talk about that one a lot, where you're kind of moving forward and then some things will take you up quite a bit. And then sometimes you'll get dropped backwards, right? And that's life. Because you can be healing and moving along and then you get triggered. You get a big mold hit, or you had too much wine, or you were feeling better. This is actually a really common one. It's a success problem, but it's people I've seen going through the program and they get their energy back and they're feeling like themselves again. And then they go, I'm going to make up for lost time, right? And then they're out like drinking and dancing and partying, which is crazy because, you know, it's so out of character since they've been like sick for so long. And then they're just like living it up and they actually deplete themselves further. And so they have like 1 week of just, it's like spring break for, you know, for somebody that's like 50 years old or 60 years old and they're just like partying with their friends and drinking wine and all this. And then of course, you know, they kind of find their limit and they get set back. And when you get set back, no matter what the trigger, right? A mold hit or overplay or whatever, you want to be able to navigate yourself back through, right? And use the same processes to get back to where you were. And that's what we do. And I'm going to give you the shortcut right now. I'll give you the cheat code, right? The overarching map. Stage 1 is your immune system. Stage 2 is your digestive system. Stage 3 is your neuroadrenals. Stage 4 is your blood circulation. Stage 5 is where all the boosting and biohacking and mitochondria and hormones and all that kind of stuff, that's where all that lives. Most people don't even really need to press on that directly. Because if you go through the stages in the right order, you're unlocking your health, not with a key, right? But with a combination. You can do the right things all at once, like a shotgun approach, and they're not going to be the right things because the timing's off. You need to do the right thing for this, and then the right thing for that, and then the right thing for this, and you can start to unlock your health that way. This is how we get people coming back to life. When I'm training other practitioners, the first thing I'm doing with them is taking them through, you guys got to understand order of operations, right? So that you're not just throwing everything at your patients all at once. Because that's how we're trained, by the way. Health professionals, we're trained to have this toolbox, right, of all these healing tools, which is great. But they don't train health professionals on how to actually use those tools in a minimal way to get the most impact. They just teach you all the tools, right? And just like anything else, you can't fix something if you got a screwdriver, a wrench, and a hammer in your mouth, and you're trying to, you know, fix a door or whatever. It's not going to work. You got to know which one to pick up first. So this is something that's very important. It's important for patients to understand this to a certain degree, right? You don't have to become a health expert to heal yourself. You just got to be able to have an open mind, be positive, and start to understand some of the big picture thinking that we share here. And for health practitioners, I mean, the people that I'm mentoring, they are coming to life when all of a sudden we've got their tool set organized in a way where they can now start to use it effectively. It's crazy, right? It makes all the difference. But we're off the shotgun approach. That's the whole point. We don't want to fall into that trap, right? It's just grasping. We're just grasping desperately for one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. You don't want to be in that pit. So if you're dealing with a complex chronic health condition and you want to get it together, right? If you're serious about organizing yourself and knowing what you need to be doing next, and you want support and you want company, you might be a great fit for our group. I've got a group. It's free to join, right? You can come in as a guest. The application link is in the description box below this video. It's called Modern Vitality Solutions and Support. This is the original solutions and support group, right? It's been around for a few years. It's a wonderful place to be. We're international. We got people from all over the place. They're all going through, right? Very positive mindset, even when things get hard, even when we get triggered and backslide and overplay and drink too much wine because you were feeling better or whatever it is, right? And we navigate up and out of that and get back on track. And you can watch all that happen in real time. You can be in the group. You can ask me anything you want. I have programs, right? I'm not cheap to work with, of course. I value my expertise. I value my experience. I value my relationships with my long-term clients, right? But if you're considering that, if you're open to that, why not come into the group for free? Be a guest, be a fly on the wall. Ask me things, right? I'll share my perspective with you. We're very open. We're very transparent in there. You might even make some friends. So it's a fantastic place. I look forward to your application. And if you're a great fit, I'll notify you as soon as I can. We do fill up. Sometimes it can be a couple weeks. Sometimes it can be a couple months before I can get you in, but I will get you in. And it's just a first come, first serve kind of thing. I try to give everybody the same fair opportunity. In the meantime, Maybe you want to subscribe to this channel. Maybe you want to click the thumbs up or the like button or whatever to interact with this algorithm so that YouTube shows you things that actually help you, right? Because if you're trying to heal, if you're trying to get your life back, it's worth it, right? And maybe this is the most important thing you're dealing with right now. So maybe that's where the focus should be. So train that algorithm, right? You can use the internet with intent. You just have to be an active participant. Sometimes it means you got to ring a bell or whatever. All right, let's get you feeling better. Cheers.